This is Shaheedah Hill, getting you over the hill to home ownership and helping you confidently buy your first home. There have been a lot of these $25,000 bill proposal videos that have been coming out over the last couple of days, and I just wanted to put a different spin on it because a lot of people aren't taking the time to educate their viewers as to why that this type of bill would come out. Because as part of this bill, and there's been videos about the $15,000 Biden proposal, now it's a $25,000 proposal. And it's not actually here, it's just a proposal. It's nothing that has been passed, it's nothing that you can apply for. They're just discussing it, and it's been proposed. I want to say there are two parts of this grant that people are a little bit, I think, confused by. Why would somebody do, number one, first generation? They want a first generation first time home buyer. And they also are looking for minorities to take advantage of this program. And one part of this education that I think, especially younger Americans, younger people trying to buy houses, is why would they do something like this? And so a little bit of history that needs to be included with these videos is that the FHA, after the Great Depression, the FHA administration was created to help, spur the economy, spur home ownership, and to help white potential homeowners, specifically white homeowners, to purchase property. FHA, when it started, refused to sell to black or to lend or to insure black mortgages. So a lot of these proposals that may try to help with the equity that has been lost in the United States, the black home ownership rate is 44%, the white home ownership rate is 79%. A lot of those things were government controlled programs. Now the government is trying to fix it. That's why they're trying to propose questions like this, propose bills such as this. Now, is it ideal in a pandemic when inventory is very low, when it's hard to find a property? Probably not, because it's going to make it even more competitive and it's going to increase prices even more. However, are there things that need to be done to promote this equity in the system? Because American wealth, the majority of American wealth for individuals is in their home. And when you don't own a home, you don't have access to that wealth. Now, a little bit more education on FHA. So FHA, through redlining, would not insure loans to African Americans depending on the community as well. They wouldn't allow you to buy property in white communities or any community that you want it to be. They would restrict black homeowners to specific communities or would not insure their mortgages at all. So if an African American wanted to buy a house, they were denied and told through the underwriting that they could not get one. So that is something that needs to be put in every one of these $25,000 YouTube videos. That needs to be said. You cannot even do this video, in my opinion, without including that. And I'm going to include some documents to show you specifically what was said so you understand. And I'm going to put a link below to what redlining is. I'm going to put a link below to FHA so you can understand why these kinds of things are being proposed and why the home ownership gap is so large in America, why the home ownership gap is so large, why the wealth gap is so large. Is not just education. It was things that happened in the U.S. government to specifically stop minority groups from buying property. And that has to be put. Don't put another video out like this without stopping to say, okay, let me educate my viewer as to why the government would put a program or proposal like this in the first place. I'm also going to put for the National Association of Realtors. If you were a realtor, you weren't allowed to show properties outside of a certain area. You couldn't just show your client everything. That's why the Fair Housing Act was enacted that says you can't discriminate against race and religion and familial status, all of those things, because that was being done. It was blatantly done. So they would have, brochures and things like this, it was typical. Not every, my great grandmother or my great great grandmother or even my grandmother wasn't allowed to buy property in certain areas. That's why they did. I've talked about before, my grandmother did own property in her hometown that she bought cash, but could she buy it early or did she buy it later in life? She bought it later in life. So there were restrictions. So don't do another $25,000 video without first educating your public as to why, your viewers, your subscribers, as to why someone would propose this type of legislation in the first place. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel for new videos every week.